Hello YouTube, it's Atticus. How's everybody doing? I am back with you with an exciting new game. This is a Bretonia VS Empire. So yeah, guys, we're having a little human civil war here. So yeah, I don't really play Bretonia a lot, but when I do, I drink Dasakis. No, that's a lame joke. So let's go ahead and just jump into the build, guys. For my lord, we are taking a prophetess of beasts. So yeah, she's really cheap. That's about the only really good thing I can say about her. She's not a supreme sorceress. She doesn't really have, you know, a cool aesthetic, a cool kit. She does have one unique skill that will like make an area of effect, like damage thing, like a bunch of boulders fall. But besides that, she's just cheap, guys. And I'm gonna have, you know, access to Manticore, and I took the piercing bolt. What is that thing called? The Amber Spear, excuse me. So yeah, I'm just trying to go cheap and wider on my army. Escorting her, I do have a Paladin up on a mount. So yeah, he's going to have his anti-large and his Guardian trait. And we are going straight up Battle of Winterfell tactics here, guys. So if you watched the Game of Thrones, you'll recognize this formation. So I have 4 Knights of the Realm in front of my actual infantry corps. Next, I have a Spearman group. I have a secondary Spearman group. I have some Pox Arrow Peasant Bowmen, and then we have a bunch of artillery. So we have 3 field trebuchets, guys. So yeah, just like on Game of Thrones, we're going to be trying to see if the strategy actually works. So yes, go ahead and look at the opponent's build here, guys. So for our lord, his lord, the guy that we're fighting, where is he? Who do we got here? Looks like we have the mighty Carl France. So yeah, I like Carl. Let's see if he took the kit. So yeah, he does have Galmaraz, and he does have the melee attack buff that he gives to all his units. So it's really smart to put him on that horse when he's running with Cav, especially with all these demigryphs. He's going to buff these guys and make them almost unstoppable. So this is really powerful. It's going to be a really tough nut to crack. For his front line, guys, he has a bunch of spears. We have the Sigmar's Sons, the unbreakable swordsman unit. Secondary line is some halberds. We got 2 halberds, which will come in real handy versus Bretonia. Then also, guys, we have a Grey Wizard. So yeah, we don't really see Grey a lot in this matchup with Miasma, Pendulum, and a Feebling Foe, it looks like. Or is that Arcane's Razor? And last but not least, we have the Hammer of the Witches, guys. So without any further ado, let's start this Battle of Winterfell Civil War slash thing and see how it goes. So right off the bat, as Arya Stark said to the Night King, we are just going to advance. We're going to send in a suicidal charge just like the Dothraki does. And you can see I'm going to get my first Amber Spear. I overcasted it. And look at that damage, guys. It's really good. So here comes the cavalry charge. My opponent's not braced for it. We're coming in. But then I see the demigryphs coming, and I'm like, nope. I don't want no part of that. But I do attack over here because I figured my opponent wasn't going to have time to guard it or to respond. And you can see we just absolutely just shred that unit. And we're instantly going to pull back. You can see this whole game, guys, the trebuchets are just opening up. And yeah, they're just doing a lot of damage. I mean, it's just really free damage. We're trying to do as much as we can before the armies actually collide. You can see right here the Royal Altdorf grit fights, and the demigryphs are hot on the tail of my Knights of the Realm, but yeah, I'm just pulling them back. I'm trying to be patient, but you can see my opponent is going to catch one of the units out of position. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. Going to take a little bit of damage, but it is what it is. You can see the infantry lines are going to start to move up here, guys, and yeah, we're just being really patient. I'm trying to get Amber Spears. You can see I am using my Arcane Conduit to try to get some more Winds of Magic, but yeah, now we just have a big mosh pit right here of Knights of Realm, who are anti-large, guys, keep in mind, versus all these spearmen, all these Artarv Griffites, I can never say that, and all these demigryphs. All across here, guys, you can see I'm trying to get some charges. I'm trying to get these Knights of the Realm to go on a flanking mission because I want to shut down that cannon. That thing's been a real pain in the butt, and it's been shooting my artillery this whole game. You can see he's actually took out one of my units. So now we're just in this big glob right here, guys. You can see my opponent is going to cast some kind of spell. What is this? What is getting casted here? Arkham's Mind Razor. So yeah, that's a huge buff to all his units. It's making them a lot powerful. And yeah, you can see I'm going to get one of my spells, the Prophetess spells, right here in this radius. You can see that the artillery is hitting these guys since they're all gloved up. But yeah, here comes the boulders, the bound spell by the Prophetess, and it does a little bit of damage. It's nothing like the Black Horror, but it does a little something. You can see we do get into the artillery priest, but he does have these halberds that are defending it, so it's kind of a wet noodle. You can see over here that the Paladin is fighting amongst the Grey Wizard. We're trying to focus him down, but yeah, guys, I mean, it is what it is. You can see my opponent gets a really good pendulum right here that takes out a lot of my peasants and a lot of these troops. They are going to break, but yeah, it's just really coming down to this big mosh pit of troops right here. Knights of the Realm, we got spearmen. You can see that I do have these poison arrows, though, who are providing overwatch, and those guys are going to help. You can see I'm getting another really great amber spear, and it takes him down to almost a quarter of his life, guys. So yeah, I'm just using the Prophetess as a spear thrower pretty much. Here in the artillery, guys, we still have 2 units that are fully operational, and yeah, we're just trying to focus down the halberds and trying to focus down the demigryphs. You can see I'm going to get a nice rear charge into the back of these units right here. That's going to help break some of their leadership. It's going to send a few units flying. But yeah, the Sigmar Sons here are unbreakable, obviously, so they're going to be fighting to the bitter end. You can see that Karl Franz is still in the battle, guys. He has pretty good health. He's going in there fighting some of these Knights of the Realm, and that's what he excels at. So he'll be able to do pretty good at that kind of role. You can see the Hammer of the Witches is still operational, so I wasn't able to shut it down, and it's still, shooting the artillery, which I don't know if that'd be the best uses of it. You might be better off to shooting the Knights of the Realm and things like that, but it is what it is. You can see I'm going to get another amber spear. I'm going to try to shoot him, and we'll see if we actually hit him. So there it goes, and boom. So 3 amber spears pretty much kills a gray wizard. And keep in mind, these were overcasted. Balance of power is still just smack dab in the middle, guys. We still have this huge mosh pit of troops. The spearmen, the Knights of the Realm, the demigryphs. You can see stand your ground, and the Reichs and Runefang is going to be procced, which is going to give those guys 64 melee attacks. So yeah, that's really going to hurt my troops. Luckily, I do have the poison damage, or the poison debuff, that is going to help those guys a little bit. It's going to keep those guys from being as effectively as they would be normally. You can see the Paladin is going to be doing amongst Karl Franz, but yeah, Karl is such a beast. The Paladin does have anti-large, but if Karl wants to turn around and smack him, he'll be able to. You can see I'm using the Prophetess just to try to keep the Grey Wizard from coming. I don't want him getting back and taking advantage of all these globs with another Pendulum and things like that. But yeah, guys, for the first time in the game, it's starting to pull back into our favor. With all this poison, with all the trebuchets, the whole game had just been taking advantage of my opponent being globbed up. Yeah, it's just starting to add up, guys. And you can see these trebuchets are just absolutely just crushing through his units. And I did focus him on the demigryphs since they were, the biggest threat of his army. You can see Karl Franz is running around here. Looks like he's going to get a spell off. Let's see what it is. It's an Amber Spear, and boom, a hit and a miss. So yeah, that was a big waste of my Winds of Magic, which was really unfortunate. You can see the Paladin, though, is quick on his tails. Karl's kind of juking and jiving and trying to dodge him, but yeah, at this point, guys, we have a huge advantage. We still have a whole crap load of Knights of the Realm. We have a bunch of peasant troops, and it's looking pretty good for us. Over here, he still does have this Hammer of the Witches, but hey, like I said, the whole game he's just been fighting the trebuchets, and yeah, you're just not going to be able to snipe him that quickly, but look at all these horses that you could be killing, and they're all globbed up. So, I mean, that would really give you a lot of value, and it would probably be, a lot more cost effective. Over here, he has some demigryphs returning from routing, guys, but yeah, it's really coming down to this last unit of spears, her getting ready to break, and Karl Franz, who is just completely surrounded by spear units, the Paladin, and it's going to be army losses for my opponent here pretty shortly. The noose is tightening. You can see I do have some Knights of the Realm as well, but yeah, guys, I mean, just look at this, the trebuchets. Now, granted, my opponent has destroyed quite a few of them, but yeah, just look how globbed up it is. That's such a good opportunity to do damage that my opponent missed on. So, yeah, good game to my opponent. You can see I do finish it off with an Amber Spear just for good measure, and that is going to be a win for Bretonia. So let's go ahead and look at the end screen breakdown and talk about some of the keys for my success. So yeah, I guess the strategy of Winterfell actually worked. Sending the cav ahead, the spears, the trebuchets, it actually worked. But yeah, one of the big keys for success was the Amber Spears of the Prophetess. You saw 3 overcasted ones, sniped out his lord. The trebuchets, I mean, look at those damage, guys. And it was simply because I was able to glob up his troops. We had those huge, mobs, those huge, pit fights. And yeah, when that happens, you just send your artillery on there and you just exploit it. It does so much damage. Knights of the Realm, I mean, they're a very cost-effective way. You saw that really good opening charge in the beginning. They were able to keep the demigryphs busy. And yeah, I think another thing is just the bodies. We had so many troops that it just kind of just bogged them down. And obviously the poison arrows were able to debuff some of the most important engagements, and it just kind of worked in my favor. So as for Litovets, I mean, really good build. I think the biggest mistake, though, was focusing down the trebuchets instead of taking advantage of my troops being globbed like that. But it was a good build. So, all right, guys, it's Atticus. I hope you enjoyed that one, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.